This market measure segment breaks down one of the most overlooked trading costs. When liquidity is poor, prices are inefficient, and the gap in the bid-ask spread impacts your returns. This added cost can be small on each trade, but it adds up over time. Stay tuned. This is the cost most traders never see. Does liquidity matter?
I think it's right up there with Delta. I mean, after you put on Delta, before you put on Delta, you have to make sure you have liquidity. So maybe it's the chicken egg kind of thing.
It was a trick question. I knew that you would know.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad you had faith in me.
Liquidity is a fundamental requirement for efficient markets and is a reason why our assumption of efficient markets tends to hold in research. And so today we're going to take a look at two key characteristics of liquidity as well as the dangers of trading illiquid underlying. So, liquidity is one of the things that retail traders can control. You can control your entry, your prices, what you're trading, the duration. Those are all things that you can control. Liquidity is another thing where, when things are wide, you can choose not to trade them.
Yes.
That is a huge positive for us. Liquidity and being in liquid markets, being able to get in and get out at efficient prices is huge. And that's really what we're going to discuss here.
Let's do it.
So the study that we're going to look at is SPY versus IVV, which is a Vanguard ETF for basically the S&P 500. It's iShares. iShares core S&P 500 ETF. VGT.
Cancel crash. I mean, the S&P is down 73, but I'm going to cancel the crash right now.
Really? With all stay in bid? You can cancel it?
2070, 2065, 70.
I mean, this has been the low for NASDAQ. I mean, this is where we got
Hey. Yeah, I'm allowed to make my call.
Okay, all right. Well, I put the risk on. You're just out there calling.
Never mind.
Subject
to change.
VGT is the Vanguard Information Technology ETF. We're going to measure that to Qs. So these two products, as we'll see when we get further on, they're basically the same thing.
They got me. I bought them.
You did?
Yeah, but they got me.
We're going to look at the money put and at the money puts and strangles on March 20th, 2026. We're going to find the 60-month correlation of the price of these assets, which is going to be very, very highly correlated. We're going to look at daily volume, the bid-ask spreads, and then the cost over the theoretical mid-price. So the mid-price is typically where we trade or try to trade. When you have penny-wide bid-ask spreads, they're going to be very, very tight. In some of these products, you're going to see they're not very tight. And we're going to discuss the results by highlighting liquidity differences and explaining the risks of trading illiquid products. E-mini's down 80.
Making new lows. I said they got me.
Vol up
$1.50 and change to 20.80.85.
Might not buy this dip.
No, I said they got me, but I'm in now.
We might be back.
So now I sit.
It's okay.
Broken-hearted.
This next slide here, just to take a look at the correlations of these two products. And let's jump to the next slide, the correlation matrix here. You'll see that SPY and IVV, 100% correlation. QQQ, VGT, slightly tiny difference there, but basically the same thing. So these products are the same thing. In a lot of like 401ks or passive kind of funds like that, they're not buying SPY or QQQ. They're buying these Vanguard related products. A lot of places, like if you have a 401k, it could be held with Vanguard. They're going to buy their own products in SPY. And so just so we're clear here, they have basically the same correlation. When we get on to the next slide here, the two main characteristics of liquidity are high volume and low bid-ask spreads. That's what we talk about when we talk about liquidity. Those are the two things you want to look at. High volume in both shares and options. Those are two important things because they correlate the bid-ask spreads. You talked about this before, how if the bid-ask spread on the stock is $1 wide, the options are going to be at least $1 wide, if not more. Just because spreads get wide because the shares themselves are not even liquid. So below are two identical price underlyings. They're both basically the same price here. Same IV and near 100% correlation to each other. You can see SPY trades 28 times, 20 times the amount of IVV. QQQ, the same thing with VGT. They trade, a multiple here. And you can see the bid-ask spreads here on the at-the-money put, a penny wide on SPY versus $2.80 on IVV. It tells you that, these are the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to be losing out on value by trading the illiquid product. That's it. That's, the big thing here. Getting on to the next slide here. So, why does the volume and the bid-ask spread matter? In trading, liquidity is a measure of price efficiency. So where there's no price efficiency, you pay the difference between the mid price and the bid and the ask as a cost. So when something's a penny wide, it's going to trade at the mid price. You might have to give up a penny on either direction. If something is $1 wide or $2 wide, you might have to give up 25, 50 cents just to get in and out of that position. And so that is slippage. That is value that you are just giving away.
That is correct.
For not being in something liquid. And that means over time, your P&L will decrease by how wide the average bid-ask spread is on your trade. This is more substantial than commissions or anything else. Like, you're giving up dollars on bid-ask spreads on two products that are the same thing. It's why liquidity is king here.
You can't trade. It's not even my opinion. You cannot trade without liquidity. You can't be successful. You can trade anything you want without liquidity. But you can't be successful with the slippage. Why take the slippage if you don't? Don't have to. There's so many other products to trade that mirror each other that have liquidity. Mm-hmm. Just go there. It's it's really the simple thing. Totally. Even the S&P is down 94 and volatility up to 21.
Bonds rallying too.
What's that?
Bonds rallying.
Bonds are rallying 115.07.
Damn.
Oof. They got us hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, we'll be okay. Could have more. So next slide here. So using SPY and IVV as our example by selling both the call and the put, which is our strangle here, we can see that there's a ton of value lost here just in the bid-ask spread. So when you're looking at SPY, you're looking at basically penny-wide markets here, 2-3 cents. And that's, about as tight as you can get.
That is about as tight as you can get.
In terms of slippage. When you're looking at IVV, and these things are going to trade at slightly different prices because they're slightly different values in terms of the share price. They're tracking the same thing. But you can see that it's almost a full dollar wide. So it's a $100 wide spread on the strangle in IVV versus a penny wide in SPY. The same sort of thing you see in QQQ versus VGT. You're talking about a dollar wide spread. Not only is this bad for your P&L because you are most certainly going to trade the less liquid underlying is most certainly going to be less advantageous from a price perspective. You're going to lose 5 or 10 cents on every transaction that you do in those products. But it's also like when you're looking at your P&L and you're looking at your portfolio, wider bid-ask spreads are going to skew what you're seeing from a P&L perspective. We get those emails all the time. I'm seeing my my P&L go from up $100 to down $300. That's because these bid-ask spreads and all the value of your options and your positions, your stock, is based on the mid price. And so, if you want to be in a little bit less volatile positions, liquidity is the easiest way to dull that P&L volatility.
Agreed. Entry is all you can control, and that's what you should be controlling. Even the S&P is down 80. I'm basically unchanged on my.
I just bought another NASDAQ.
Nah, I couldn't. Even the S&P futures, and I'm out about 20 cents on my futures. 10 cents on my volatility futures. Do I scratch them or stay?
I think you stay.
I'm gonna stay, but I was hoping you said scratch them. Next one, please.
Since the bid-ask spread is not a line item cost, many traders disregard it. This is important because people don't think about, everybody talks about commissions or this or that. People don't think about the bid-ask spreads. That's really where you're losing out.
It's almost, sorry to interrupt you. It's almost like a gas leak. You know what I mean? When you have like a wide bid ask, it's like you don't think about it, you don't see it, you don't smell it. But if you don't think about it and you don't, like if you smell eggs, you probably have a nat gas kind of a leak there. You know what I mean? You have to watch it. When you see markets that are too wide, you have to run from it. Many times we talk about that. Go ahead.
For sure. And it's just from a P&L perspective, especially, and this is even more significant for the Johnny traders, which we just did our Johnny Trader segment. When you have limited capital and you're giving up 5-10 cents on each in and out, that's a lot of slippage. That's way more slippage than anything else. And
way more than you could afford.
Yes.
Is what it comes down to.
Yes. So it's a huge part of your P&L and just overall slippage. Couple quick takeaways here. So liquidity is fundamental to the success of retail traders because the lack of it can cost traders a large percentage of their returns. I mean, if you're taking $1 out of something and 5 or 10 cents is your slippage on bid-ask spreads, handful of those trades and you give up your profit. It's a huge thing.
It is. It really is.
So the way to gauge how liquid an underlying is mainly two metrics. We look at bid-ask spreads and we look at volume. Bid-ask spreads are going to be correlated to the stock price. Something like an AMD is going to have a much wider bid-ask spread relative to Intel. A $50 stock versus a $200 stock. But all else being equal, it should be relatively tight. We've talked about 0.1%, so a $100 stock should have 10-cent wide bid-ask spreads. Just a rough, way to kind of gauge liquidity in the options themselves. You'll see this in the stock as well, and in the options. The volume, you want to see high volume. If a stock trades a couple million shares a day, it's probably okay from a liquidity standpoint for shares, for options. If it's a 50K a day stock, it's probably going to be wide bid-ask spreads. It's all these things are correlated. Bid-ask spreads are correlated with volume, and so you want to see volume in both the options and the stock. Thanks for sticking with us. The market doesn't stop and neither should you. The next video builds on what you just watched. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch Tasty Live. Click through our next video to continue learning.